like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the channel. It's your boy EVsmokeATX, Big Texas. Just like you probably see it on this title or the thumbnail, the purpose of this video that I'm fin to talk about here, I just want to be clear. This video that I'm finna talk about is not about, I should say, it's not about sexuality. It's just that I'm trying to find the best way I can say this without being, being rude or whatever. But it ain't about sexuality. It's just about why people stereotype EV drivers. I just want to, expose the laziness assumption there and not validate this. Okay, so let's just be clear. It's not about sexuality or anything. It's just a fact about why do people choose to stereotype EV drivers because of what they like and what they, the brand and things they believe in. So let's talk about it. But first, I was going to sit here and talk about it out here, but it's still a little nippy out here, and it's actually, getting colder and colder here, actually. I just want to be comfortable when I talk about this so I can get my point across, or try to get my point across to the best as I can. So let's go talk about this inside in the room here and sit down and just have a little, some hot chocolate or something, whatever, coffee or whatever. It's cold out here, so let's go inside. Come on. Boom. All right, so let's come on in and make yourself at home, and let me get set up right quick, and let's just have this little discussion right quick here. Nice and warm and cozy because it is cold outside, boy. It's out there. It is cold. So let's get set up and make this happen, and let's talk about it. Alrighty, we're back. Your boy, EVsmokeATX, once again, Big Texas. So, like you probably seen this thumbnail or maybe the title or so, I got a couple points that I kind of like jotted down here on my screen, because I don't want to really miss nothing or say some things that's pretty off topic or whatever, because I do want to make this clear here. Why purpose of me making this video is because mainly is I have seen a lot of these comments over time about if you driving an EV or a Tesla that you pretty much are gay, a soft ass, or whatever, the case may be. Now, I'm making this video because I think a couple people that I know personally and so on, they said they never heard of this before. Some other people before as well. They said they never heard of this before. This is the first time I'm hearing this, that people making exceptions by you into EVs or Teslas or whatever, mainly just say Tesla, that you're, pretty much gay. So the purpose of the video here, I just want to be clear here. I want to be clear here. This video is not about sexuality. It's not about sexuality, none whatsoever. So let's remember that. This is more about why some people even make this assumption, why electric cars trigger some people so hard. This is really saying it's about a culture or masculinity or maybe ego for some people. From experience. Like I say, you remember I always say, I basically talk about things from experience and that knowing about it and so on. I'm not just blurring out here, just making videos just to be making it. But I talk about things from experience and so on. But yeah, I mean, this is so weird. Like, that it's weird, but it's funny, because I don't let it bother me, because I know, that's not the case. I don't have nothing, nothing against that. People that are if that's what you choose to do. I know some cool, people that, I know some people that's like that, but, all respect to, all respect is given, as long as you respect me, I respect you. I don't have no problem with that, but, they just like him. That's just what they choose to be or do or so on, to each his own. But that being said, trust me, this has way less to do with EVs, and I would say more to do with insecurity. You know what I mean? Let's get deep in, let's get a little deep here with it if you don't mind. So I'm gonna say this here. I want to start off here first off. Let's see here. Let me pull up my notes here right quick if you don't mind. So I want to stay on topic and not making this about, get into feelings or anything like that, because, it's a, it is what it is. But it's a lot of clowns out here with this narrative, which is stupid. But I want to try to see if I can address this head on, basically. I would say using gay as an insult is outdated and lazy now, if you ask me. That's just being honest. But the stereotype do exist. So let's talk about why. So let's just say I did some deep thought on this and a little research as well. Ask yourself, let's just be real. Ask yourself this. Where did the stereotype come from, possibly? Let's just say, since this is a big thing nowadays for some people, where did this stereotype come from, possibly? Let's just say, hey, I'm gonna throw one out here first here that I wrote down here. Maybe let's just say old car culture, from loud, aggressive, smoky, muscle loud cars. Been there, done that. I have old school before. I have old school cars before. I've been in the old school car culture before. Then, invested thousands and thousands of dollars in old schools before as well, But let's just say, the loudness, aggressive, the smoke and the burning rubber, et cetera, et cetera. Then maybe it would say, EVs are quieter. Efficiency. High tech. This is 2026 now. Let's not forget about the tech out there. New tech. Technology. We're speaking as of right now, 2026. Maybe, is that the stereotype there? Maybe because of loud cars, loud, smoky engine rumble noise versus a quiet efficiency tech car, maybe? Think about that one for a minute. Some people do associate quiet with weak over here. They associate quiet with weak for some people. Think about that for a minute. Because when I was reading up on it, and I'm like, oh, that do make sense, So remember that. Put a pin in that. Okay. Another thing I would say, I highlighted here. Change makes insecure people defensive. Change makes insecure people defensive. Just think about that for a minute now. I'm not saying nothing that ain't, don't should make that should make you just think about it for a minute. Change makes insecure people defensive. That's a defensive, So, I want you another thing. I want you to put, I'm trying to put this together here with that. When a car challenges someone's identity, they attack the car or the driver. When a car challenges someone's identity, they attack the driver or the car. Makes sense, don't it? Think about that. Okay, and I would say let's take this into consideration too. Masculinity and cars, the real root, maybe. I'm gonna give you an example. For decades, masculinity was tied to like V8 cars, muscle, rumble, burnouts, loud noise, popping, etc. EVs removed that theory. EVs remove that theory. Okay, yeah. No noise, no validation for some people. No noise, no validation for some people. Is that why they taking that? That's why they saying this, maybe? It kind of makes sense now. Think about it. Can I go off the limb and say this here? If your masculinity needs exhaust noise to survive, that's fragile, not electric. One more time. If your masculinity needs noise to survive, that's fragile, not EVs, electric cars or vehicles. Another point. Why do Teslas get the most hate? Ask yourself, why do Tesla gets the most hate? Why do Tesla get the most hate here? It could be that Tesla is the most visible EV. When you say EV, the first thing coming in your head is Teslas. Let's not act like that. That's not true. Tech forward image. Elon headlines, etc. We're not going to talk about politics and all that stuff here. Internet means and everything. Nobody's mad at a Nissan Leaf because nobody's racing one. Nobody's mad at a Nissan Leaf because no one's racing one. Another point, check out my other video. Wow, the Tesla got banned at the Orlando track. But the Nissan Leaf can still run. It's a hybrid, right? So if you know the difference between a hybrid in the Nissan Leaf history versus a full EV Tesla brand, check out that video there. And, matter of fact, I'm going to drop it right here. Check out that video, at the end of this video. Yeah, I attach it onto the end of this video. So check that out for me. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about right here is basically, just keep it on. This is a reality check. Performance don't care. This is where I come into place at, for real, you know what I mean? Big dude. But reality check, performance doesn't care. Tesla Plaid, for example, I'm just gonna say Tesla Plaid, beating Hellcats, Demon 170s, and so on. But anyway, Tesla Plaids beating Hellcats. EVs dominating at 0 to 60. Electric drag cars shocking the crowd. Funny, it is funny how the soft car, so-called EVs, keep embarrassing people at the tracks and so on. The soft cars. Think about that for a second. If you know I'm from the old era, Arsenio Hall, things that make you go, Think about that for a second, though, Another thing here, I was going to put up some of the comments on the screen, but I chose not to do it because my guy said I was going to, should blur out the names and so on, but some of the comments that people do this, but you can just Google, and I'll show it in a second. I'll show a couple of them, just give you ideas. So like I said, this is new to some people though. I done seen a lot of the EVs, the comments. EVs are gay. Real men drive gas cars. Tampon car, gay. I even saw when it was somebody was talking about on one of my social medias. I saw a thing about the Roadster. Some of the specs that's been talked about and so on and so on. But, it's going to be a bad super hypercar pretty much. And then sure enough in the comments, gay, on the Tesla Roadster, $250,000+ car coming out, and so on. But they, once again, that's the narrative. That's the only thing you can say bad about a Tesla. If you want to say, if that's what's so-called supposed to be bad, I guess. That's the only thing, This is funny though, I want to, let's see here. And yes, because electric knows your sexuality. Let me say it again. This is funny because electric knows your sexuality. Think about it. There's just true reality there. Electric knows your sexuality. Humor wins. Think about it. So I'm gonna show this right quick here. I'm gonna show a couple of them here. Let's see. Get this camera here. So, for example, you could just Google some of the jokes on EVs. They say gay or are gay or whatever the case may be. Anyway, like for example, look at this here. There's a Cybertruck. I mean, like I said, you got all kind of things out there. I can go on and on for days about this. You know, it's just this is what people do or say just because they feel some way about electric. Just because they feel some way about electric, etc., etc. So, with that being said, people, talking to my people out here that, you know, I'm pretty sure they deal with that, or if it do bother them, you know, which it shouldn't. But just remember, drive what you like. Drive what you like. If someone feels threatened by your car choice, that's not your problem. Once again, if someone feels threatened by the car you choose to drive or have and so on, that's not your problem. Real confidence doesn't need noise. It's just performance. Real confidence doesn't need noise. It's just performance. So always remember that. I don't want to make this video long and drawn on because I can go on and feel like I'm in my, make it like I'm in my feelings or anything like that, because that's not the case. I just wanted to put this out here and shed some light on this for the ones that doesn't know about this or never heard about this before. This is crazy, and for the ones that you know who you are, that's the first thing you want to say and feel. To each his own. So I just want to be clear. People use that word to insult, as in insult. That's just a stereotype that still exists. Outdated. Childish and stupid, if you ask me. Because it doesn't have anything to tie in, with the product, about the car and so on. Another example I want to say out here before, and I want you to think about this as well. When you hear about, you hear people saying this, you never hear them say this about Rivian or Rivian, BYD or anything like that, because some people ain't never heard of it, don't even know about it. But let the word Tesla come up, and that's the first thing, you want to hear people, for the ignorant people that's doing it, But Rivian and so on, you never hear this. Think about that for a second, I want to go back for a second again because I thought about this here. Like I say, on some of them comments, and if you want to, one of the people that's experiencing this or having this problem, say this: yes, I'm gay for torque. 0 to 60 in 1.9, 2 seconds, 2 seconds, whatever. That's feminine because you fast and not loud. Hey man, I'm just putting some of the things out here that's, you gotta have humor with this, because I don't let it bother me, nor would I let it bother me at all, because people out here nowadays is just sometimes ignorance, ignorance at its finest though, Drive what you like. If someone's offended by your car choice, that's more about them than you. Real confidence doesn't need noise, smoke, or approval. That's another thing with me, like when the situation I did a video on about the banning, when Orlando banned the EVs at that track and so on. It was on a drag page with drag muscle guys, heavy guys, whatever. People get a real car, or, blah, blah, blah. And so that tells you a lot about people right there, because a lot of people are intimidated by it. Let's just be honest with it. But, that's something they got to deal with. It don't bother me. It really don't. Another thing, EVs breaking records, Tesla's beating, pretty much a lot of things out there and so on. Tesla in general. Electric drag cars embarrass gas bills, where people put lots of money in their cars. Some, not all, because I'm speaking from experience. I have done played with the best of some of the best. They respect it, like, wow, I respect that, or, some do, be butthurt or whatever you want to say, or just be hurt in general. So excuse me for that one, but it's just funny how the gay car keeps gapping everything on the track then, if you want to put it like that. But I don't want to keep on going on and on about that, because like I said, it ain't about a stereo. I don't want to feel like I'm making this about sexuality, which is not. That's not even the case of this video. So it's about why people stereotype EV drivers at all, because it just don't make no sense. It's stupid. And I would say Tesla owners are visible in voice, autopilot, tech, Silicon Valley stereotype, media, memes amplified. Nobody's calling, like I said, calling a Rivian gay. Half of them don't even know they exist. It's a pretty car though as well. Pretty amazing car as well now, I must say, but some don't even know nothing about that. So that's neither here or there. So it is what it is out here with this though. I'm about to end this here. I don't want to go too long about this here. So drop a comment, please, if you don't mind. Drop a comment if you have heard this stereotype in real life or online before, or dealt with it, or know someone dealt with it before as well. Let's talk about it here. Let's just talk about it for a second here, if you like. If you heard about this stereotype before, or online, or have heard about it, or know anyone that dealt with it before, and you came across this, or this is your first time hearing this here, drop a comment. Let me know. Let's talk about it for a second, though. I'm open to discuss whatever. But I just want to make this video on this matter here. Stay tuned for more to come. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. This your boy EVsmokeATX. We got races coming up here, getting ready for 2026. Can't wait to kick that off with, But definitely check out some of the other videos as well. But definitely check out that video as well that I'm going to leave at the end of this one here. With the track situation, banning EVs at the track and what could have possibly led on to that, because it's like a lot of, that's neither here or there. But check out some of the comments as well on that matter, though. It's your boy. Like, share, subscribe. Stay tuned for more. It's your boy. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell.